In Universe 7, it was a sunny day on Earth, and Bulma had organized another one of her famous banquets, bringing together all her close friends, and of course Beerus, the god of destruction of the 7th universe, and Whis, his ever-present companion. The table was laden with all kinds of food, from typical Earth dishes to intergalactic delicacies that Bulma had managed to get to impress Beerus and Whis, in addition to wanting to try foods from other worlds. Everyone was chatting animatedly, and Goku and Vegeta as always ate with great pleasure, but with an expression of great hunger and wanting a little more from the dishes. While everyone was having fun, Bulma, always curious, observed Beerus. Something about him had caught her attention for some time, but she had never had the courage to ask. After all, Beerus, being a god of destruction, was known for his impatience and explosive temper, which led to the destruction of countless planets over the years. But Bulma wasn't one to back down from curiosity, especially now that she had a certain friendship with Beerus. Bulma said, "Beerus, can I ask you a question? Something that has always intrigued me." Beerus stopped chewing for a moment and looked at her suspiciously. Beerus replied, and what would it be? I hope it's not something silly." Bulma smiled, a little nervous, but continued. Bulma said, "You are a warrior who has existed for centuries, perhaps even millennia, right? You must have been through countless battles. But what intrigues me is that you don't have any scars. Your body is completely smooth, as if you have never really fought. How is that possible?" Everyone at the table was silent for a moment. Goku, who was devouring a plate full of meat, stopped and looked curiously at Beerus. Vegeta, crossing his arms, gave the god of destruction an analytical look. Beerus narrowed his eyes at Bulma. He clearly didn't like the question, but before he could answer, Whis intervened with his usual serenity. Whis said, "Oh, Bulma, that is an interesting question, and the answer is quite simple actually." Everyone's eyes turned to Whis. The angel calmly took a sip of his tea before continuing. Whis replied, "Beerus, being the god of destruction, has certainly been through countless battles throughout his existence. However, as part of my role as his angel and guide, I keep a special ability active around Beerus's body. This ability makes Beerus's appearance always remain perfect in the eyes of others, without marks or scars, no matter how injured he may have been in previous battles." Goku's eyes widened in surprise. Goku said, "Really? So that means Beerus has been hurt several times, but we never get to see it." Vegeta frowned, even more interested now. Vegeta replied, I figured he'd been through some good fights, but I didn't think he'd hide his scars." Beerus, visibly uncomfortable, placed the glass of juice back on the table with a little more force than necessary, causing a slight awkward silence. Beerus said, "That's none of your business. My battles are ancient history, and as for my scars, well, they're not something I need to show to every insignificant being that crosses my path." Bulma, however, was not intimidated by Beerus's attitude. Knowing that he wouldn't destroy her for something so small, she pressed a little harder. Bulma said, "Oh, come on, Beerus. That just made us even more curious. Are you embarrassed to show your scars?" Beerus's eyes narrowed even more. Goku laughed, trying to ease the tension. Goku said, "Oh, Bulma, you're brave to ask that. But then again, I'd like to see them too. It must be amazing to see the scars of someone as strong as Beerus." Whis, who had been watching the conversation with a calm smile, intervened once more. Whis said, "If Beerus-sama permits, I could deactivate this ability, and then you could see for yourselves the marks left by your battles. However, I must warn you that this may reveal more than you are prepared to see." Beerus looked at Whis with a disapproving look, but after a moment of thought, he sighed deeply. Beerus replied, "Tsuki, I really hate it when you put me in this position, Whis. Very well, if everyone here is so interested in my old wounds, I will allow you to see them, but just know that it does not change the fact that I am far superior to any of you." Whis said, "As you wish, Beerus-sama." With a subtle movement of his staff, Whis made a slight gesture in the air, and a soft blue aura began to surround Beerus. Suddenly, Beerus's body glowed, and then marks and scars began to appear. What had once been smooth, flawless skin now revealed deep cuts, burn marks, and signs of old injuries. Long scars slashed across Beerus's torso, and smaller marks covered his arms and legs. Some appeared more recent, while others looked very old, almost faded by time. Each one seemed to tell a story of intense battles, some of which seemed to have been fought against equally powerful opponents. Everyone at the table fell silent. Even Goku, always cheerful, was impressed by what he saw. Vegeta, who normally maintained a defiant posture, watched with respect, recognizing the marks of fierce battles. Goku spoke, "Wow, Beerus, I never would have imagined you had so many scars. You must have faced incredibly strong opponents." Vegeta replied, "These marks, they're from battles against other gods of destruction, aren't they?" Beerus looking at them with a somber expression. Beerus said, "Some, yes. others, from beings who dared to challenge me. It's not something I'm proud of, but it's part of who I am." Bulma, who was watching everything attentively, felt a mixture of surprise and empathy. Bulma said, "I didn't expect that, but it makes sense. A being who lives so long and goes through so many battles must carry scars, not only physical, but also emotional." Whis calmly replied, "Exactly, Bulma. Although Beerus-sama is a god of destruction, he is also a creature who has lived for a long time and faced many hardships. These scars are a reflection of that." Beerus rolled his eyes, clearly uncomfortable with the tone of the conversation. Beerus said, "Enough of this. I didn't come here to be analyzed like some kind of museum relic. I came to eat and enjoy the banquet. Now that you've seen enough, Whis, activate the ability again." Whis nodded, and with another wave of his staff, Beerus's scars began to disappear, as if they had never been there. The aura of perfection once again enveloped the god of destruction's body. Goku, however, couldn't hide an excited smile. Goku said, "I still want to fight you for real someday, Beerus. Seeing those scars just made me even more excited." Beerus replied, "You'll never learn, will you, Goku? But I'll tell you one thing. If I ever fight you without holding back my power, you can be sure that you'll get some scars too." Everyone laughed, and the atmosphere at the table became light again. The banquet continued, and although the revelation of Beerus's scars had surprised everyone, their respect for him only grew. Even though he was a god of destruction, he, like everyone else, bore the marks of the battles he had fought throughout his existence. As the banquet continued, Beerus still seemed slightly irritated by the curiosity of others. He wasn't the type to like talking about the past or his battles, much less about his scars. It was something he preferred to keep hidden, not only for the sake of pride, but because these marks made him feel less powerful. Beerus said, "Don't think I'm comfortable showing you this. In fact, I hate talking about my scars. They remind me that even though I'm a god of destruction, these marks are signs that at some point I was hurt, and that irritates me." He gave everyone at the table a serious look, making the atmosphere a little more tense. Beerus replied, "If it weren't for the fact that I already have a certain intimacy with some of you, I would never have allowed you to see these scars. Otherwise, I wouldn't have hesitated to eliminate everyone here to make sure no one knew about this." Goku, even with Beerus's serious look, couldn't help but ask a question. Goku said, "Do you really think these scars make you look weaker, Beerus?" Beerus replied, "Among the gods of destruction, any sign of weakness can be fatal. If any of them knew that I bore these scars, they might see me as vulnerable, and I cannot allow that. That is why this ability of Whis is so important. It keeps my image of perfection intact, something that is crucial to my role." Whis, who had been listening silently, smiled slightly and spoke in a calm tone. Whis said, "I can reveal to all of you who was responsible for causing some of these scars on Mr. Beerus, since I see that everyone is curious." Goku quickly said excitedly, "I want to know who was the person who managed to injure Beerus." Guys, with this we will end today's video. I know it's boring, but we'll see you in the next video. Leave lots of likes on the video and comment, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. So see you another day, guys.